What I'm offended by is drastic racial inequalities.
Because he killed that man like an animal.
Emotionally exhausted.
And here we are 80 years later.
A point of extreme frustration and despair, frankly.
I watched the white officer assassinate a black man. And I know it tore your heart
My
out.
being and my presence anywhere is inherently political simply because I'm a black woman.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Peace Talks. This is a series where we catch up with the bands and artists that are coming to play for us at the Mars Bar in Worcester. And today I'm joined by Romarna Campbell, who's coming up to play for us on the Thursday the 26th of March. So hi Romarna, thanks for joining us today.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, grand. So yeah, we've finally got you onto the program. We originally had you booked for I think it was February last year as part of our Upbeat series.
Yes.
And you had to unfortunately postpone that gig at
Yes.
the time, so we managed to get you back on. It was actually, I was actually put in touch with you by a friend of ours, Graham Bryce, and his partner Sandra, who back in it was March 23 that he got in touch and said, "Oh, you need to check out this drummer. I've not heard of you before then." And
That's mad.
so we got in touch, and then we managed to get you onto the program last year, but that was rescheduled. So
Yes, it's rescheduled.
so here we are.
We're here.
We're here, and you're coming up, which is great. I think you're currently sort of splitting your time at the moment. You're in Berlin at the moment. Sort of
Yes, so splitting time between Berlin and London. Like I'm very much between the two cities, which is kind of fun actually. So although the winter's not been great for it, but the rest
the winter in Berlin.
Yeah, winter in Berlin is hard. Winter in Berlin still needs to figure that one out. But yeah, between the two cities.
Excellent. So, but originally from Birmingham, right?
Yes, Birmingham through and through, to be honest. My family's still there and everything, so I'm actually spend a lot of time in Birmingham, and I feel I love the city. It's like one of my favourite cities in the world. I think there's so much going on all the time, and I was really lucky to kind of be a part of the Birmingham scene and see, like, I came into the Birmingham scene when, like, Andy Hamilton was here.
Right.
And, like, Sweater Kinch was about. I mean, he still is about, but, like, Sweater was about and that kind of thing. And there was, like, a lot going on in the city at the time. But I was fortunate enough to meet Andy, and he put me in touch with the Notebenders. And so I still don't know how that happened, to be honest. And actually, it's, like, quite a full circle moment with all of that. But I remember joining the Notebenders. I was like 9, and I literally couldn't see over a drum kit. Like, I think about it now, and I can't believe it. And it's the Notebenders is an amazing band. It's still going as well.
Yeah.
And the Notebenders is like full age range. But
Yes.
I think about this now, and I just think, like, I walked into a room of adults, like little, like 9-year-old me, walked into a room of adults being like, "Hey, I'm the drummer."
How long had you been drumming at that point?
Like maybe a year or so. Like,
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, like
Wow,
I'd learned
brave.
bossa nova. I'd just started to learn a swing. I
Right.
played backbeat. Like, I was really at the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know, I was really lucky that they really trusted me in that sense, and I got to play in that band. I played in that band for like over 10 years. I played until I left for university.
Right.
So I played all the way through, and then actually I played at their 20th year anniversary. I think 2023 it was, or 2024, I can't remember.
Okay.
But that was recently. And so yeah, it's a little bit of a wild one, but I think now I think about my career, and I think about kind of how privileged I am to have the career that I have. Like, I'm so proud of my career, but actually a lot of it centres in Birmingham. Like even this year, like this year I'll be out on tour with Courtney Pine.
Yes. Yeah, I saw this.
Which is, I'm so excited about this, but I met Courtney through Andy and through the Notebenders at the Town Hall in Birmingham.
Oh,
And
right.
there's like a mad picture, like I think I'm probably like 11 or 12. Like, I'd been playing for a little while by then. I remember saying to him, he remembers this as well. I remember saying to him, I was like, one day I'm going to be your drummer. Like, I'm going to play in your band and I'm going to be your drummer. Like, at such a young age. And I just like totally like believed it. I was just like, whatever happens, like that's going to happen one day. And then fast forward a few years, and then whilst I was studying in America, one of my first tours was with Courtney Pine, a UK tour with him.
Cool.
And so I've been playing with Courtney for a few years now, and like on and off, because he also has so many projects, which is amazing. And I think about that now, and like literally, like whenever we play, he'll laugh about it, and he'll be like, I still remember when you walked up to me, just like, I'm going to be your drummer. But it was in Birmingham that happened. It was because of Andy. It was because of the Note Benders.
Yeah.
It was because of Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Proud Brummy. Proud Brummy.
Fantastic. And so that would have been before you got involved with Tomorrow's Warriors.
Yes. Yeah. So Warriors. Again, see, even there, I met Gary. I met Gary in Birmingham. Again, because of Andy.
Oh, right.
Andy had passed away.
Yeah.
And they were doing like a celebration of his music and life. I think that was at the Symphony Hall, actually.
Okay, yeah.
I can't quite remember if it was the Symphony Hall or the Town Hall. But I know that Gary had come up for it, Gary Crosby. And we had this like, it was like everybody had turned up, like the city was buzzing, there was so many people about. And everyone had turned up to like pay tribute and, you know, and everything to Andy. And we ended up playing Sea Jam Blues classic. It was like a million of us on stage, and everyone was like, oh, we'll just switch around. So like everyone like play a couple choruses, switch around. So drummers were switching around, bass players were switching around, everyone. And then afterwards, Alan Cross, who worked with Andy Hamilton, comes up to me and he's like, oh my God, Gary Crosby wants to talk to you. He's gonna come and talk to you. I've like, he saw you playing. Like, he wants to come and talk to you. He was so excited, and I wasn't actually really aware of like Tomorrow's Warriors at that point, because it's an organisation based in London. Yeah. So I wasn't entirely aware of it, and I think I was like 15 or 16, to be honest. I was quite young. And then Gary appears, and he's literally like, I've only got one business card left, but he was like, here's my business card. Like, I've like got this thing called Tomorrow's Warriors. Like, totally downplays what Warriors is, and he's like, yeah, I've got this thing called Tomorrow's Warriors, and you know, we've got a band that I think you'd be great to play in. So just give me a call or an email, or give someone a call or email from Warriors, or we'll get them to phone you or something. You should come down. Like, as simple as that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try and be there. Like, and everyone was buzzing. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then like he told everyone it was his last business card. I was like, oh my God, you got Gary's last business card. Like, this is like a whole thing. Like, you got to go to Warriors. Like, duh. Like, it's, you know, it's like a thing. It's like, okay. And so I spring up at Warriors, like 16, like in the middle of what is now Frontline. But yeah, I spring up at Warriors at that age and played with Warriors for a few years and met like, I mean, people that I still play with and still like some of my good friends and everything. Like, it just like the community that brought as well, and like just giving me that space to like get my foot in the door in the London scene. And I was like, cool. But yeah, I mean, I was doing my A-levels at the time, so I'd have like my cymbal bag on one shoulder, and then I'd have like my school bag on the other shoulder with like with a load of that was my computer, sorry, with a load of books in it, and I was like sitting on trains studying on the way down and all this kind of thing. So yeah, so that's exactly, so even there, Birmingham was absolutely instrumental in me being part of Warriors.
Ah, that's cool. And you then went on to mentor the Frontline. You're kind of the musical lead.
Yeah, so that's a full circle moment. It's a bit of a trippy moment as well, because it's like there's the nostalgia of it, in that I remember being in their seat. I remember being in the exact rooms that they're in now. Like, it's still at South Bank, still the same programme, except now I'm the person that stands in front of them as their music leader. And it's also interesting to see, I think I try to like music lead and mentor from a place of like, where were the gaps for me? And like, what, like, you know, what do I wish somebody had said to me at that age? Or what do I wish somebody had been able to impart to me at that age, or maybe foreseen, you know? Because I think one of the cool parts of being in that space is that a lot of them want to pursue a career in music, and so I can give them, like, I can say to them, oh, this is exactly what to expect, or this is exactly how you can overcome these things, or this is how you can find an avenue this way, because it's my lived experience too. So that's like it's fun, it's intense though, but it's a little bit trippy. I don't necessarily feel old enough to be like you know, we're doing this and we're doing that, but it works. Because I think
like you say, you've had the experience and you've gone through it at that stage.
Yeah.
You know, so you're the perfect.
It's
person.
fascinating, but it's like, you know, like when I first started there, I was like, it was less than 10 years ago that I was sat in this very seat. Like it was just like that I was turning up on a Sunday morning to work to South Bank and coming down to Warriors. So yeah, but now we've had like two groups now, like two main groups. So one group is Ancora, who have played at the Mars Bar.
Indeed, fantastic gig. That was
incredible,
really great turnout.
Incredible group, right? They're so good. And then now we have another cohort, and they're like really shaping up to. I'm so impressed by them. Like every week, I'm so impressed by them. I'm like, wow, like, and just to see their work and their dedication to the music and to their art and to their craft is like, in that is also really inspiring to me too. Like I really enjoy those moments, and I enjoy seeing those moments where they, you know, kind of like kick through the glass ceiling on something and you see the progression happening and you're like, wow, this is amazing to see that. And I used to joke with Ancora about this all the time. Like when I first started with them, it was, oh my God, it was like drawing blood out of a stone sometimes.
The interview I did with Hannah, did you see that? Yeah, and she was saying they all kind of turned up I think they didn't all know each other. They kind of came in and go, oh, yeah.
It was terrible sometimes, and I used to sit there and be like, oh my God, we've got 2 hours, like this is intense. And then sometimes I'd turn up to their sessions, and I would stand outside the door. Like I'd be there on time, but I'd be stood outside the door for like 10-15 minutes thinking like, this is the week that they're all going to start like talking to each other, or I'm going to walk in and they're all going to be like already playing or something. Right. Like, and then I'd like open the door and they'd all just kind of be sat there just like eyeballs, like, and then I'd be like, hey. And then, I mean, by the time that they turned into Ancora and, you know, become their own autonomous band, oh my God, I used to just turn up for the hang, to be honest. Like I was there and I was like, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were writing all their own music, like just complete agency and autonomy over the group and also over their music. So it was very much like I was just there for like a little bit of like, oh, like just added support by the end of that. Like it was really beautiful, and you know, they really took the lead on that actually, which is exactly what I want. That's exactly what it should be as well.
I found as a promoter as well, it was a really professional engagement process with them from start to finish. They were really on top of everything.
Yeah, they're amazing.
It was a real pleasure to deal with. So. And I think that, you know, that all comes through, you know, it's from Tomorrow's Warriors and the other stuff that you're doing. It's not just about the music, but it's about you know, how to make your way in the business as well.
Yes,
so, I'm sure they have a lot to thank you for on that. Yeah, well done. So you yourself studied, was it the Birmingham Conservatoire you studied at?
Yeah, so I did 2 years at Birmingham, and then I left Birmingham because I still sometimes don't know how, but I managed to get into Berklee. So I left Birmingham, and then went to Berklee. I took a year out and then I went to Berklee. Yeah. Just wild work.
Terry Lynn Carrington there?
Yeah, and it was intimidating. It was so intimidating in a healthy way, but it was intimidating because I think the thing that was like interesting to me about the whole Berklee thing and the American thing as a whole is that, well, there's the first thing of like, America is just such a big country. Like it is massive, which means that then generally the scale of everything is much bigger. So I'd come from like Birmingham Conservatoire, which is a really good school, but I think it's somewhere in the region of like 500 to 600 students, like including the entire conservatoire.
Right. Like
it's a really small college in the grand scheme of things. And I may be wrong about that, and maybe they've increased the size then. But when I was there, it was like, you know, the jazz course, they were only taking in like 15 to 20 people per year. And then the retention rate wasn't always great. So it meant that like some year groups were down to like 10 people. Like they would lose like half of the year group for various reasons. People going off on tour, people deciding they didn't want to do jazz, or people deciding that maybe they wanted to pursue other things. Like there was a lot of things that would happen, but it always felt really intense because of how small the course was. But it meant that quite quickly you got to know the whole course because you had to, because it was a case of like there were 2 or 3 drummers per year. And then you think about other music colleges in the country where it's like, I think Royal Academy, it's like 1 drummer a year, like, and every now and again they've had 2, but like it really is like 1 drummer a year kind of thing, 1 bass player a year. So you are going into a very small community, but you then end up knowing everyone. So I knew everyone from like my year as well as the years above me.
Right.
And then when we went into second year, the people that were like, we knew them because we were in classes with them. We were like this, and we were a department kind of like, we were very much on this was in the old building, so it was like the 4th floor. We were on the 4th floor. We were like at the back of the building somewhere. We were like the crazy jazz cats at the back. It was very much the energy of it, and so you knew everybody all the time. And then I got to Berklee, and I mean, it's got bigger since I was there. And what's crazy is like some of the people that were older than me or had been to Berklee before me were saying that it was like when I was there it was too big. But I mean, when I was there, it was like the faculty size alone was like over 1,000 faculty, and the student body was like somewhere in the region of like 6,500 students from music school.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they were joined with Boston Conservatory as well. So then you also had Boston Conservatory and all the dancers, because that included a dance conservatory. So you had like the music program at Boston Conservatory plus the dance department as well. That was like a whole thing. So it was like at any given moment, there was like the best part of like 10,000 people like at that school. Like,
wow. I took a snap. I was out there for work for a few days. I had some time to wander around, so I've got a picture of the outside of the the music school, but never been inside.
Oh, you should. It's like a spaceship. It's sick, but it's so many people. And then the other thing you've got with that school is like, it's like the teachers. And they really are your like weekly teachers. That's the other thing people don't quite realise about it. I mean, they're people that I like recognise from records. That I've never, you know, and if I have seen them, I've seen them from afar, like on a stage somewhere. Maybe, do you know what I mean? But like I've never like met them. Like they're like these like people that are afar. Like they're not somebody that you like see every Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Like it was wild. And I remember like my first day was like slyly quite legendary in quite a funny way. So I flew in. I'd never been to the campus before, didn't know where I was, and also the campus is actually a lot bigger than anyone would really anticipate. And the first day, I am jet lagged, dealing with jet lag, but trying to deal with like orientation and people telling me I've got to be in this building, do this, and just very Berklee-esque. It was hilarious. And I trip down some stairs and nearly headbutt someone in the meantime. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I'm jet lagged. I'm like almost dizzy. I'm so jet lagged. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And it was Terence Blanchard. He's like one of my favorite musicians. And I like recognize him from like album covers.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, you're Terence Blanchard? Like what? Like what do you mean? Like he stood there and he's like, oh, like it's fine. Like are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like he probably doesn't even remember this, but I just remember being there like, I was listening to your album like a couple of days ago. Like I was sat on a flight listening to exactly his album. Like
wow.
The blue one. And like, yeah, I know exactly, I can't remember the name of the album. I'm really bad at album names, but it's the one with the blue background. And I was like, but you're Terence Blanchard. And then somebody was like, and then he was like, you need help or anything? He was like, you should like go over there or something. Like if you need some help, if you don't know where you are. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, it's cool. So I asked, and we have to do these like placement auditions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to this desk and I'm like, oh, I need to do this like placement audition. but I don't know where this building is. Like, it's on a whole different street. I don't know where I am. She's like, yeah. Like, you just go around there. And like, I'm still like, oh my God, that's Terence Blanchard. And I like, so it's like, go for this like 5-10 minute walk, get into another building. I get downstairs and like half of the drum department's downstairs. I literally round a corner. Terry Lynn Carrington is stood with Jack DeJohnette. Ralph Peterson is there. Billy Kilson's there. Francisco Mella's there. Neil Smith is there. Like, some of my absolute heroes. I just all stood having a conversation. They're like in a little bit of a huddle, like they're having a laugh and everything. And I'd met Terry Lynn in Birmingham, again, Birmingham being the center.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
I'd met her in Birmingham because my band had played support for her, one of her concerts. So she recognised me.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, hey, how are you doing? Like, come on over. I am bricking it. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's like all my, like the only two, like maybe there's a few of the drummers that maybe could have been there. I think I would have just like burst into tears, to be honest. But I think if like Roy Haynes had been stood there as well, I think I'd have just burst into tears. Like, I think I'd just like absolutely crumbled. I was so overwhelmed. And I was literally just like, what? And they're like, oh, then like at that point, Omar Hakim was the head of department. And Omar Hakim like pops out of a door. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, these are like this is like holy grail of drummers going on here. And they were like, like a bit of banter. I'm like, I'll be right back. Like, I ran into the bathroom. I phoned my mom. I couldn't think about anything else. I phoned my mom and I was just like, I'm really overwhelmed. Like, I just like shouting at her down.
This is all on your first day?
This is all on my first day. It's like first few hours of me being in Berklee. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally freaking out about the whole thing. Like, it was just, this was like, and I was just like, what? And they're like, yeah, you got to do your audition. And I'm like, mad. They're like, yeah, Jack DeJohnette's going to be here for a few days. He'll be doing like some workshops and stuff. I'm like, what? Like, oh yeah, like you'll have these teachers and this kind of thing. Absolute madness. It was just like wild. And I was like, and it was like, it was interesting because it was like, in one sense, it was like, it was so beautiful. And it was just like, man, like all these people that I'd like totally admire and like just think artistically are some of the best, like stood right here. And there was that like human element to them all of a sudden. Like I was like, oh wow, they're like human. Like I could be that too. There was that side, but then there was the really intimidating side. Yeah. Because then the intimidating side was like, oh my God, like we're in the same space right now. Like that's crazy. Like I gotta get my chops together. Like I gotta work, you know? And then after that they do this like welcoming thing where they're like, everyone who's doing drums is like first and second principal instrument and secondary instrument. We all meet in like one of the auditoriums, and there was like hundreds of people in this room. And then it was like, that was like another moment where I was like, wait, like, because I'm used to being in spaces where there's like 3 or 4 drummers maybe, like, you know, like I'm used to a space where like if there's 4 drummers in the same room, we're all like high-fiving and we're like, wow, this never happens. Now I'm sat in a room with like hundreds of drummers and I'm like, they're incredible. Like I can already see, and everyone's tapping and everyone's like, yeah, I'm listening to this and I'm listening to that. It's like mad intense, and it's like all of the stereotypes in one sense and totally not any of the stereotypes in another sense. But I'm also in a new country and like there's so much going on. Like, and this was like all in the first like day and a half, and I was just like, oh, I got my work cut out for me. Like I gotta figure this out quick, you know, or get lost in the middle of it. And yeah, so I was really lucky while I was there. Like I had Terry Lynn as one of my teachers. I had Ralph as a teacher. I miss Ralph so much. I had Neil Smith. I had Billy Kilson. Like I really had Francisco Mella as a teacher. Like I just really had like the Avengers of teachers at one point. Like, just like, you know what I mean? It was like hilarious. I remember one
opportunity.
I know. Fantastic. It's mad. And I think about it now. I had like Tuesdays were always a funny day because that was like a very drum heavy day. And I remember one of the semesters I'd like accidentally organised my schedule. So I'd literally had all my drum lessons on a Tuesday and all my ensembles on a Tuesday. And I'd get to like 10 p.m. and I was like absolutely fried out of my head. Like I was like, just like so much information. And yeah, it was like, you know, like I just feel so privileged I got to have that opportunity. And I wouldn't change it actually. It was sick. It was so sick.
Brilliant. And so I think was that around? Were you out or still studying there during when COVID hit in 2020? Was it? Did
Yeah,
you finish up then?
so actually, how does that work? I was studying until the December of 2019,
Right.
and then I got a tour. So I decided to take a semester out and go on tour. I had a few tours come in.
Hmm.
And then we were very much in the middle of a European tour when COVID hit, which is wild. And we were kind of traveling towards the carnage. So we'd started out in Sweden, and we were traveling like from Sweden across, and we were supposed to finish in Italy, actually. And the big outbreak in Europe, the first big outbreak where it was like, oh, this is serious, happened in Italy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but yeah.
So we were on the road, which is crazy. And around that time, I basically, so I was at Berklee. I'd got to the end of that semester, and then I actually was having a bit of a like crisis of like, can I do this, to be honest? So I decided that I was going to leave Berklee and move to New York. So I was in the middle of like trying to move between Boston and New York whilst I was away. So the plan was that I was going to go back to New York. But I think we got as far as Germany, if I remember correctly. And that's when everything started to shut down. And we were in Stuttgart, of all places. And the German government had announced that anyone who was still in the country, it was a weekend, I remember that, but anyone who was still in the country by 9 a.m. Monday would have to isolate in quarantine and isolate in Germany, or wherever they were, basically within Germany.
Yeah.
So I'd had to, and I couldn't get back into America because America had started to shut borders, and America had shut borders for non-Americans, and I mean I was on a visa, so I was trying to figure out how I could get back, and then it was just kind of getting like closer and closer, and then the UK announced that they were going to shut borders. So I ended up flying across to Belgium and then flying across to the UK and coming back to Birmingham until I could try and get back. And there was this like horrific week where like, I think it was the worst emails I've ever seen. Like it was just like email after email after email of things getting cancelled and just things. First it started out a little bit like, oh, it's just postponed. Like we're only doing this for 2 weeks. And then there was like the week after that where it was like, no, this isn't going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be like a longer term thing. But yeah, I literally, I had my tour bag with me, I had my symbols with me, and I kind of rocked up in Birmingham and was like, right, well, I can't really be anywhere else until I can either get
Hi,
back
Mum,
into
I'm home.
Yeah, like literally, I just like sprung upon my mum's house and was just like I'm trying to get back, and was supposed to, like, one of my best friends was supposed to be recording her album, and I was supposed to go back for it, and I remember her calling me and being like, I don't think this is going to happen, like college isn't open, and we were going to record it at college, and I was like, okay, and I had all these bits and bobs set out, and I remember having to phone and be like, I don't think the New York thing is going to happen. So I hadn't even packed up like where I was living or anything. It was just all like in the air. And then it took me like 2.5 years to get back. So I just had to like basically start again because I had my tour bag and that's it.
Yeah.
So I had to, even down to gear, like I was like, I couldn't even get back for gear. It was a bit mad. So then because of that, they moved Berklee to being completely online, as most things did.
Right.
So I had like 2 semesters left of credits and bits and bobs and testing out and stuff. So I figured it was probably better to just graduate and in the time that I had. So I went back to school. And
was that when because there's a video on YouTube, the Berklee Anywhere. Was that during that period? That was
during
recorded.
that time. Yeah.
So I was going to ask about that piece actually, because that was, you were playing Inherently Political on that video, and that was commissioned by B Music. Is that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how the commission came about, but the commission came about because it was a response to George Floyd. I think it was a response to George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, and police brutality. And I think, we watched that kind of happen in real time. And I guess a lot of it was also a bit of a weird time because things were still kind of closed, but people had started to figure out how we could make things happen in a way, like we could do like Zoom things, and we could do like recording and stuff. So I was recording a lot of music from home, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'd set up like a home studio, and I'd set up some mics and the kit and was like just figuring that out. But it was in response to George Floyd, and it was a little bit of a jarring one, because I think it was quite jarring because when they approached me about it, I think at the time I was a little bit irritated by it, because I felt like there was a lack of nuance to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like there was a lack of, and I felt like a lot of organisations basically were just like jumping on it because it looked good.
Right.
And that was where I was at with it at that point. But also having from the lens that I had lived in America, and actually I moved to America during Trump's first presidency. So so the first time I flew in for anything for Berklee, first time that I flew in was the day that he got inaugurated.
Oh, right.
And then I lived in like Trump America, and Trump America now, this second term is obviously just like off the chain, like it's crazy. But it was off for the time, it was off the chain then as well. And so I was an immigrant on a student visa in Trump America. So I kind of had this like perspective of the whole thing of like having lived as a black woman in America, but also not being American. And then being back here, and then feeling like some of that nuance and the understanding of what had happened had been missed, just because of culture, just because of different countries and that kind of thing. But I think like after talking to them a bit about it and just being like, but why are you doing this? Like, is this like a PR stunt to be like, hey, we're, doing the thing? I think after talking to them about it, I felt like maybe it was also an opportunity for me to kind of really have my say, and have my say from my perspective, because I can't speak on George Floyd's perspective, or I can't speak on George Floyd's relatives or anything like that, or anybody that witnessed that in person. But I can speak on it through my art from my perspective. And so that's how that came about, and it was quite intense. It was really quite intense actually, and it was also like I hadn't really been doing a lot of I was doing a lot of writing before that, but I hadn't really done anything where I was playing solely original music or anything like that. But I was doing a lot of writing while I was at Berklee, and I really have Ralph Peterson to thank for that, because I'd had this crisis at Berklee that I didn't think I was a good enough drummer, but I wanted to do music, and he would get me to write. So instead of having drum lessons sometimes, I was also very much a broke student, and I don't think you should glamorize that at all, but it was wild, and I wasn't eating and all this kind of thing, and it's not at all glamorous. It was horrible. And I think that Ralph saw that I was struggling with it all. So Ralph would get me to write tunes or rearrange his tunes, and I had to do it within the time of my lesson, which I think was a half an hour lesson, if I remember correctly, I think. And then sometimes he would appear and then be like, you don't look like you've eaten, or you look grey. He'd tell me I'd look grey. Call me Roro and tell me I'd look grey. And then food would appear, and he'd be like, well, I'm going to order some food. Do you want anything? And I always said no. I was always like, no, it's fine. I'll figure it out. And then food would appear, and then he'd be like, you've got until the food gets here to write a tune. And I'd be like, okay. So like, and he'd give me a piece of manuscript. Sometimes I was sat at a kit doing it. Sometimes I was just sat at a table doing this. And so he really got me writing a lot of music and getting that muscle going. So I could like churn out tunes, because then it became a thing, and it became almost like a puzzle for me to be able to write like that. And then it became like you should bring this to this rehearsal, or I have this band doing this and they need a tune. I need you to write something for that. Okay, and I didn't even have the confidence, at the time. There's a load of Berklee cats that would have played my music, and they don't know that they played it because I didn't have the confidence in it that to put my name on it. So they think it was Ralph that was bringing half of those tunes, and it wasn't.
Right.
It was me sitting there like writing out tunes, and he would always say, "You need to write your name on this." And I'd be like, "No, because if it's no good, I can't take that. So just play it, see how it sounds, and if it sounds good, great. If it doesn't, fine. You know what I mean? I can throw it away." So I'd been writing a lot because of that. So then when I got this commission opportunity, I think it was my first real thing where I was approached from as a composer more than as a drummer. And I was like, cool. And we had to figure it out all remotely. So the whole thing, I wrote the whole thing, and then everything was recorded remotely. So I had to phone my friends and be like, hey, do you have a recording set up? I'm going to send you, I've already laid down the drums, probably going to change them, but there's at least some kind of demo of what the drums will be doing. And this is what I'm thinking about for the bass, and this is what I'm thinking about for the keys. And yeah, it was a bit mad. And I remember calling Cassie about it. So Cassie Kenoshi's on it, my friend Daniel Abrams on it, Matale Chashi is on it. And I just kind of was like, this is the vibe, this is what I'm going for, this is the story that I'm trying to tell in this piece. And then it did really well, and I was like, maybe I can do both at the same time.
Fantastic. So that's interesting you're saying about the how you got into writing so much, because was it the end of 2020 that you did the 25 songs for my 25th birthday?
Yeah.
And that was with various friends from Birmingham.
Yeah, friends from everywhere. But the same thing, actually. I think it was exactly that. It was just, I think, it was also, that was also a bit of a weird one as well, in the sense that I was actually talking to my friend about this, the effects of the pandemic for people because of where it hit, what stage of their life it would have hit them at. And I was saying, it's not to say that everyone was obviously affected by it, but more so the kind of deeper effects of it, I guess, depending on how old you were when it happened.
Yeah.
And so for me, I went into the pandemic in my early 20s and I came out in my late 20s, and I missed my mid 20s. I missed 24, 25, 26 because it all happened in a pandemic.
Right.
But that also means that I missed that part of my career as well, right? Because very crucial years, I think, to a career, especially kind of for the trajectory that I wanted, or at least that I was attempting to follow. And then it just all kind of stopped. So I think that was my slightly rebellious way of being well, I have to do something. And I think I'd slowed down on writing because I didn't have the motivation of Ralph,
Right, yeah.
And Ralph was getting sick at that point as well. Ralph had been sick for years, but Ralph was really, really, really sick. And it was being floated that we were going to lose Ralph. And I remember thinking I had this whole plan. I was I had this whole plan of what I was going to do, and I got back, and Ralph had already said that he was going to help me out if I moved to New York, as far as people that I could be in contact with and all that kind of thing. And then this person now to see, and such a strong person, and then to see him just still maintaining that positivity and everything, and just being Ralph about it. I think anyone who knows Ralph, they'll just tell you something. One of the most infectious people you've probably ever met, to be honest. But I think it was all around that time that was going on, and Ralph was sick, and I felt really guilty that I was so far away, which was really sad. And I remember we did this Zoom with him when he was really when it was really getting to that point. It was all the drummers that he'd taught or been a part of, or who admired him, just a thing. And there was hundreds of people in the Zoom, it was mad. But to see Ralph that sick was it was just so jarring. And I was nah, I've got to do something. So I set myself up with this task, and I was I can write 25 songs for being 25, and I did it in like, oh my god, and I was like, I have to get the speed again, and I have to get sorry,
No?
I have to get the speed again, and I have to get the energy of that again. And so, I mean, if you'd been around me while I was doing that, it was chaotic, because I totally hyper focused in on it, and I think I wrote most of the songs within like about 6 weeks. Like everything was like written and recorded and then like mixed down within about a 6 to 8 week period. Like it was like, I just kind of decided, and I remember being like, the deadline is my 25th birthday, because I don't want to go into my mid-20s.
Right.
Like I don't want to be 25 and not have something out. And I just got like really in my head about it. And I was like, it was like about a 6 to 8 week process, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, if you actually speak to any of the people involved in that, they're going to tell you how chaotic that was. Like, I was just like on the phone, like, hello, can you record piano for this? Like, you'd be perfect for this. Like, I know you'd be perfect for this. I'm just going to send you stems. Like, you just do what you need to do. Like, if you want to jump on Zoom, like, it was so like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, I was barely sleeping, but we did it. So I was like,
Indeed, that's all on Bandcamp as well, I think. No?
Yeah, it is. It's all on Bandcamp. And so, yeah, but then I haven't really done a project since then, so I think I have to change that very soon.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the trio
Yes.
that you'll be bringing up. So I think it's been going a while. Originally with Mitali and Jank on the keys, isn't it? I think I've seen you play as a trio probably 4, maybe 5 times. I think every time it's been a slightly different lineup, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And also, actually, going back to your writing, I'm pretty sure on 2 occasions you've just written a whole new set
Yeah.
a day or 2 before the gig.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to the other musicians having that dumped on them on a gig. But
Yeah.
it's always fresh and exciting. So yeah, tell us about the trio and kind of who's coming up.
Yeah, so the trio, for this gig, actually, it will be me, Matale Chashi on bass, and then Andy Bunting on piano, which I'm really excited about. Wildly, Andy Bunting was also one of the conductors, or like music leaders, I guess. I don't know what the title
For the Notebenders.
For the Notebenders.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited, actually, because we haven't played for years, so I was like, oh, this would be a fun opportunity to do that. But the music that we'll be playing will actually be the music from the album that is due. It's very much in mixing, about to be mastered.
Oh, cool.
So we recorded this music in November 2025. Yeah, November 2025. With me, Matale, and Luke Bacchus.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited about it, to be honest. Like, I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's a long time coming, and I'm excited about this particular project. And I hope that it's always coming from a healthy place. I hope that it's coming from an artistic place always. But I also always hope that the music that I'm writing is coming from a super meaningful place. So I think, yeah, I feel very like protective of it, because it's still so new, and like we're still going through all of that, kind of like making it into a record space, which is also really beautiful. But that will be the music that we'll be playing. So it's an entire suite of music, and yeah, I'm actually quite excited about it. And what I'm enjoying about this music is because Luke has been away for some things, and then so that's also why we've been. And I enjoy changing the trio around a little bit sometimes, because I like to hear different perspectives on the music. So I'm really interested in kind of how Andy perceives the music and what that means for the trio and that kind of thing. Like, I'm really interested in like how the music changes with the band changing sometimes. Sometimes it's a bit more dramatic than others, but I enjoy that. So we'll be playing the music from the upcoming album that I don't have a date for yet, but it is very much in the production element. It's very much in the mixing and mastering element right now.
Cool, good stuff. And is there any other projects sort of beyond the trio? Have you ever worked with the writing and such? Have you did? You mentioned obviously with some of the stuff that you're doing at Berklee, but for larger bands and orchestras, or
Yeah, so
sort of any other genres as well? That you...
yeah, wow, there's a few things actually. So I was commissioned by Birmingham Opera recently to write my first opera, like mini opera.
Wow.
So I'm in the middle of that, which is why today I had to shift some stuff around. But I'm in the middle of that right now, so I'm branching out into the operatic space, which has been a massive learning curve, to be honest, because I think my favourite composers and my favourite musicians are the people that manage to have their voice regardless. So it's been very interesting to work in a space that I've maybe not worked in so much and still find my compositional voice in that and find that through line. But I'm really excited about that, actually. That should be premiering in April.
Oh, cool.
April, I think, yeah. And then
that'll be premiering in Birmingham, will it?
That will be premiering in Birmingham, yeah.
I'll be up for that.
And then, yeah, I promise I will talk about it at some point. And then also I wrote a big band suite called Bloom last year, which we debuted with Tomorrow's Warriors Big Band. And my hope is to take that suite to a few big bands this year, and get back into large ensemble work again. Because actually I think there's nothing like a big band. Like, I think proper big band. I think there's nothing like it. There's just I can't explain it. Like the joy that brings me. So I've very much been writing for big band. So that's kind of like the two things compositionally that I'm very much in the space of at the moment. My local cafe is very amused by me because I keep turning up at all times of hours. With a lot of, I write with lots of paper. I'm very much a visual person, so I have paper everywhere, and then I'm just sat with a matcha or something, living the 2026 dream with a matcha in my hand, and I'm just literally they're just they're sitting there what is going on? One of them finally asked me what it is that I'm doing though.
Oh, right.
They were just what is going on? Because I write at all times of day as well. I'm a bit of a night owl, so So it's so sometimes it's I haven't slept and I'll turn up at a cafe at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I need to finish off whatever I was doing before I could go to sleep. That's been quite amusing. But the opera, the big band, and then the trio. So I'm really focusing in on the trio at the moment, actually, because I would like to get that album out this year, and get that touring and everything. And then I have a few other bits and bobs, but I can't quite talk about them yet. So
no worries. Cool. And there was just one other thing. I know you've got you've got something coming up, so I'm just conscious of your time.
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
We go for a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get, because I was looking at an interview you did with UK Jazz News a while back, and you mentioned in there around some of the attitudes towards women musicians, and also kind of, I suppose, in the jazz world as well, kind of perceptions and such. I think one of the examples you had there was, that you had a sound engineer that wouldn't talk to you. It's only you had to sort of put your questions through the other band members, and but you're turning up with your drumsticks and people assuming you're a singer and things like that. Do you think it's getting better? Do you think there's more to be done? Is it?
I think there's always work to be done. I think there's always work to be done. In some spaces, I don't think it's getting better. I think it's actually regressed. I think we're seeing. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I think we're seeing both progression and regression kind of simultaneously at the moment. So spaces before that I would have said were quite progressive have become quite regressive recently because of how politicized things have become in the last, things have always been politicized, but recently it feels like a lot more. And then in other spaces that I haven't really expected, I've found that there's a lot more progression, and that's been quite interesting. So I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think where I start to ask questions are the performative spaces, because I feel like I've just been seeing a few spaces that are very performative and very in support of like diversity and equity in a space, and supposedly in support, but then when you really look at like their lineups and when you really look at like who they have involved in the organization and you like start to dig a bit deeper, it's not reflecting what's being said, and to me that's super performative. I think also there's this myth that like there's still so many myths around women playing music, I think, and I just think sometimes like I had a instance of it recently, and I was just like, me being a woman has nothing to do with playing the drums. Like I'm a drummer, it's as simple as that. Like if you want to politicize that because I'm a woman, then that's a you thing, not a me thing. But I'm not politicizing my playing around me being a woman. And I actually, that's exactly what inherently political is about. It's that I don't get that, you know, I walk into a room and the first assumption that's made is that A, I'm black, and B, that I'm a woman. You know, it's like, that's what's seen. So in that sense, I think, but for me, it's always about the music. It's always about the music. It's about the art. It's about the drums. So I'm not walking into a room and saying, hello, I'm Romarna. I'm a black woman from Birmingham. I'm not saying that. I'm walking into a room and I'm saying, hi, I'm Romarna. I'm the drummer.
Yeah.
Or hi, I'm Romarna. I'm the composer. And it's not for me to now sit and argue that point with somebody, or it's not for me to sit and to politicize how I play the drums differently to a man or something like that. No, it's for me to sit and play and to play the drums, you know, like, and like I had this recently, and like if anyone you know that knows me will tell you, like I had this recently, and I on a project, and I said to them, you've hired me as the drummer, and I'm very much an advocate of you should be able to turn your job title into a verb. If my job title is drummer, then I should be drumming. And that's what I'm here to do. So, like, for me personally, like, what you think about women playing the drums or not playing the drums or anything, I'm not interested in it. Like, I'm not. Because I'm here to do a job. Because as much as I'm very privileged to do what I love, it is also my job and it's work. And I take it very seriously. And I want the best outcome always. So I'm not interested in the performative thing or anything like that. But I think I'm more interested in the action. So I'm more interested in seeing spaces where, hey, you know what, we've had an issue with diversity and inclusion and we are working to change that.
Right.
And there is actual proof of that work happening, rather than like, I had something recently and they were like, they've had a diversity program for like over 10 years. I won't name names, but they've had a diversity program for over 10 years. And they still like have no diversity in this program. Like it's just like, and so it's like, so what's been happening for 10 years then? And do you know what I mean? And then it's like, it was like, apparently I was very accusatory in saying that. And I was like, well, it is an accusation. You spent 10 years apparently trying to fix a problem, and you still have the same problem 10 years ago. There's no progress. Like, I'm quite confused by it. So I'm not interested in that. And then have you now got me in this space because you think that this is going to look good and be part of your performance? No, I'm not interested in that.
I think that was something you alluded to in the interview before, was, you know, it becomes box ticking sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Like, so, I always say this. I say this to, you know, the amazing musicians that I get to mentor as well. And like some, you know, with Ancora, with Frontline, for example, they will tell you one of the first things I say to them, you're in the room because you're incredible at what you do.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. And make it about the music first, always. And if you're upset by something, if anything like this, you put it into the music. It's always about the music. It's about the art. Like, that's what we do. And you find a way to channel it into that. That's exactly what we do. I never want those groups to get on the stage and people to be like, oh, there's a group of girls on the stage. Oh, how cute, or anything like this. We've been there. We've heard that. No. And, you know, I'm so incredibly proud of, like, when I hear, oh, I saw, like, somebody told me, oh, I saw Ancora at the Mars bar, and I'm like, right, what a band. Nothing was mentioned about anybody's gender. Nothing was mentioned about the racial diversity of the group. Nothing was mentioned. No, it was what an incredible band. Do you know why? Because I know that they're going to get on that stage, and they are going to absolutely tear that music apart. They're just going to throw everything into that music, and then when they're done, they're going to be like, "Thank you so much. We've been Ancora," and they're going to go about their day, because that's what it's about. Like that's what it should be about. And so that's kind of how I feel about it now. And I think also it's been many years. Like I think, you know, somebody asked me recently, like, what's it like being a female drummer? And I was like, well, I don't know. I know what it's like to be a drummer, but also I've been a drummer now I've been playing the drums since I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I've been playing in professional spaces for the best part of like just over 10 years now. Like, you got to find another question, you know. you got to ask me about other things, you know. Like it's that, and then it's like, okay. Like I'm not interested in that being the thing that is at the forefront. I'm interested in the music being at the forefront, and so that's always the important thing to me.
Fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you.
It's good catch up.
And really looking forward to hearing the new music and such from your trio on.
We're looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so it's Thursday, the 26th of March. God, we're at the end of the first quarter of 2026.
I know, no, don't. I suddenly realised it's like nearly April, and I was like,
fantastic. Well, safe trip over.
Thank you.
Wherever you're coming in from at the time, and we'll see you in Worcester in just about 10 days' time.
Yes, see you in Worcester.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time today, Ro. Take care.